Yo, we got big news, dog. We got big news. We're finally learning about 11.2. Everyone's been like, "Hey man, where's the news for this stuff? New patch should be coming out soon. Like, what are we looking at here? What's going on?" But we're finally getting some news, and there's more than just this. We have a couple things to look over and talk about. But let's go over just kind of the base kit coming on. Obviously, the environments and the art team are doing what looks to be God's work. This stuff looks really, really cool. Return of Tazavesh. I didn't play Shadowlands long enough to actually play Tazavesh when it was relevant, but I've heard people enjoy this dungeon a lot, so I'm excited to see it's back in our dungeon rotation. The new raid, Manage Forge Omega. We're also getting a new cloak. Actually, if this cloak is here, we'll look into that. Let's look at the raid first. So this is our new big boy we are fighting. Apparently, this guy. Let me find the image. This is how big he is in relation to Stormwind. He is a big boy. Big boy. This looks like a massive platform. Who knows what we're gonna do on it? It doesn't look like a full... I don't know if it's a full ring, though. We'll see exactly what happens, but this place looks really cool. The ethereal designs that we've seen since TBC with these kind of, like, warp gates also look sick, so honestly, I am fairly excited. You haven't seen a boss like this before. I want to reiterate Drew there. Dementis is going to be an absolute feast. I'm really, really looking forward to this raid. It looks so cool. Like, look at this boss arena. These places they look so, so good, man. And one of the things I really like about this is I think a lot of the cooler aspects of WoW is like it's almost like alien design. So you look at the ethereals and the demons when we go to Argus. Like, I really like those scapes and those skyboxes, and this seems like no exception. This looks incredible. This is in Tempest Keep. That is all. The new upgradable cloak. It's an artifact as well. Honestly, no problem with this. I mean, having some kind of borrowed power is always going to happen. I think having a slot that's just fully upgradable throughout your playtime is kind of cool. We see what kind of effects. Let's look at the actual post. I'll start. State of a powerful figure. Coalesce them into ratio reps. Upgradable artifact cloak. Players will utilize this powerful... Like, are these like visions, kind of? Allowing us to see the world through the eyes of the ethereals. Essentially turn our corporeal bodies into energy forms that we can enter untethered space, new activity called phase diving. Seems kind of like upgrading the cloak and visions, kind of. Maybe the re-ramped vision systems was a test, see if people still like the kind of content. I don't know. Will players actually upgrade and it will be Warbound wide? Much like a lot of the approach to Worth and on Warbands, we want ratio reps to be as Warbound as well. So people progressing one character will show that progress with others. Very good, having to do a ton of grinding for multiple characters instead of just focusing on one, having that share throughout would suck. You upgrade them week by week. There's a currency you'll be able to obtain that's tamed through a variety of different ways you're engaging with, so you can just upgrade them by doing the content you want to do. Good. Catch-up system for players. If you're not right there as you release on week 1, you'll come back later time, catch up to your friends. Don't worry about missing a week if you're on vacation. Good. That's good. So it's just going to be upgraded powerful item that we get through the patch. It looks really cool. It's very themed with ethereals. So honestly, I really like it. It actually looks really, really cool. I like this a lot. I'm really interested in what a lot of the armor looks like in this patch. I think it's going to look really sick, especially for leather. Cloth and leather, I think, are probably going to look really good if we're talking ethereals. Phase diving into the space. You expect to see anything you normally would, such treasures, rares, objects, unique opportunities such as warrants, aid the Aid the constables of Tazavesh by hunting down notorious monsters for fun. Okay, so they're tying Tazavesh into this as well. I mean, that makes sense because Tazavesh is a big ethereal place, right? So I don't know the actual lore of the area, but I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense looking at it. New delve, ethereal delve, cool. New ecological succession. Help Bernard bring back life back with your echo dome, dude. That's what they were doing in like oh god, what is it? Also, the fact that it's called Maniforge Omega, this just reminds me of Netherstorm so much. You have your Echo Domes, your Mana Drone, your Mana Forges, all that stuff. I wonder if we're gonna go back to Netherstorm at all. It'd be interesting. Well, they did show the Tempest Keep boss, so maybe? I don't know. Right. So we'll actually get to progress the area, I guess. Bringing life back to Koresh. New dungeon, Echo Dome dungeon. Okay. Some Shadowlands mobs we're seeing there. And here's a dungeon pool. Halls of Atonement. Good. For people like Tazavesh, sure. Arakara, Sackbird, my beloved. Dawnbreaker. Some people say a notoriously easy dungeon, somewhat difficult on hierarchies based on one-shots. I do hope they kind of look at the one-shotty nature of a couple things in this dungeon, but otherwise, people like this dungeon. I'm surprised Priory made it in, but I mean, Priory as a dungeon is really cool. I do think it's going to need a little bit of a rework going into. I do think it will need somewhat of a rework to the amount of dungeon kicks you need. Maybe they should just add more. Maybe within the packs, they should just add more mobs that are just like, hey, auto attack the tank and take out some of the casters in these packs. You get to choose your routes, of course, but the amount of kicks you actually need in Priory of the Sacred Flame compared to every other dungeon, which also is exacerbated by the effect of Beam into Stun Silent Sigil, because Silent Sigil also kicks. So I think if they address the amount of casters in that dungeon, it'll be a little better. But otherwise, really enjoyable looking dungeon, great visuals. Floodgate as well. I did like Floodgate. And new the Echo Dome dungeon. And I guess so Tazavesh will just be a return as a full mega dungeon. Interesting. So we might actually be doing it for gear. Checkpoints are evolved into waystones. Interesting. So maybe this will be a better indication if you can release if you kill dungeon, a waystone pops up. Maybe are they back adding these to dungeons? I don't know. Ghost of Koresh will feature updates for multiple classes which focus on new gameplay for several specializations, including Shadow Priest, which Shadow Priest has been in a weird spot for a long time. Brewmaster, the guy I play dungeons with, will be very happy to hear that. Frost Decay, Unholy Decay, and many more. Frost and Unholy are, like, they do good damage, but I know they have talked about the problematic nature and how stale the class has been, because Unholy Decay has kind of been the same since I played it in, like, Nathria forever ago, which isn't necessarily, like, the worst thing, but I think is definitely going to be a very weird. Hopefully they make them more fun, more interesting. I do hope. I wonder what they're going to do with Frost, if they're going to be like, hey, we're just going to be a one-handed spec, or if they ever lean into two-handed to Blit ever again. Two-handed to Blit was always my preferred playstyle, but obviously I play Warrior with two-handed weapons, so it's kind of the same thing. But I do think that DK does need an update. Warrior needs an update, but DK's been without one for a while. Shadow Priest really need it, and Brewmaster really needs it. So I'm really looking forward to what these are going to be. I do think Shadow Priest, considering where we are and what we're doing, is insanely thematic and should be way better and way cooler. So hopefully with these reworks, these classes might be cool. Maybe I'll pick Shadow Priest up or something. But right now I'm kind of feeling, I've just been enjoying Warrior and Outlaw Rogue a lot. But looking at these sets, yeah, I think that's the leather set, and that set looks so good, dude. So that's the leather set. Or I guess that's probably the rogue set. Mage. The mage set looks crazy. Is that DH or is that... I think that's Druid, actually. That might be Druid. Huh. Could be DH? Paladin. Paladin looks kind of... Paladin looks like Paladin, man. That's the warrior set. The warrior set looks really cool, actually. I really like the electric purple of it to go along with the theming. That looks like warlock. That's hunter, maybe? Maybe hunter or shaman. Maybe that's hunter or shaman. I don't know. Updates to PvP, whatever. We have already looked at this about Mana Forge Omega. I think it's gonna... honestly, the themes and art direction look at that boss room, dude. It looks so cool. Oh, that looks so cool, man. We haven't had news, and I'm just excited for it because it looks great. But now, here's where we have a little more, and this is more warrior specific. This is something that they allowed Arkham tiers to share. There's a little more information out about this stuff, but it's not public knowledge, and it's subject to change. So, like, I don't want to share anything because, you know, if it's not public knowledge, you just don't show it. You know, that's not how things work. But they did show this Demolish set, which I think is interesting. So damage increased by... So one thing I don't know... This looks like it's the 2 and 4 set for Demolish. So you have a Slayer tiers. And that is something that I do think is going to be a bit of an undertaking and coming into this new patch. Is that now every spec is going to have 2 different tier set bonuses based on your hero talents, which is a lot of work. I think they can do it, but it's going to be a lot of work, and I do hope some of them just don't end up bland and kind of sucking. If, like, they didn't really get a lot of effort put into them or didn't have time. So I'm kind of worried about that in terms of, like, time constraints, but let's look at the Warrior, this Colossus one specifically. Demolish damage increased by 20%, that's massive for AoE. And critical damage your abilities increased by up to 20% on targets affected by your Demolish for 10 seconds based on the number of stacks Colossal Might. Now, so this works alongside what Demolish already does. So Demolish puts a 10%, if you have 10 stacks of Colossal Might and you demolish something, it takes 10% increased damage from you for 10 seconds. And now it's going to have a 20% crit amplification on it as well. Critical strike damage. But here's the weird thing. If we look at the talent calculator for Colossus already, we already have a crit amp here, a crit amp here in the arms tree, and then we're going to have a third bigger crit damage amp specifically in the tier set. So crit is going to be insanely important for Demolish. And crit is also a very good AoE stat. So this is probably going to be really good for keys. Demolish increases the critical strike chance of your next 2 Mortal Strikes by 100%, and Mortal Strike crits increase your rend and deep wounds damage by 100% for 8 seconds. I do hope... Well, it's just, if they crit, it increases the... Like, this is... The thing that I find weird about this is it's very, very single target focused. I do kind of hope that they maybe add, like, cleave crits increase your rend and deep wounds damage. But here's the other thing. I don't know exactly how this buff is going to work. What this might do is it might just give you a buff that says rend and deep wounds damage is increased by 100%, right? So it might just give you a buff that increases the damage. So if cleave doesn't increase it, you're still going to be casting Mortal Strike a lot in AoE just through sweeping strikes. So basically, it might just be like an upkeep buff in big pulls where you're putting rend and deep wounds on everything and it's just doing some more damage. Our bleeds have definitely fallen off. They don't really do nearly as much as they used to. So I do wonder how good this is going to be. But I think the main thing is that guaranteed crits of your Mortal Strikes increased by 100%, which is nice. The 4 set's a little less... Definitely, maybe this is the 2 set and this is the 4 set. This This set is way more interesting than this, and then we also have there's also the Slayer and the Mountain Fame ones to consider, but we don't know those yet, so we can't really talk about them. But I think this is it's very interesting and could change the way you kind of play and how you do setup. So I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. That's probably yo. Look at that fucking sword, man. That sword looks so cool. Imagine if it's purple. Imagine if we can get a fucking purple one. That's probably the DK set. That's got to be the monk set. Yeah, that's the monk set. The DK set's not here. That's the leather set. So yeah, honestly, I think I'm really looking forward to this raid. This is a lot of cool news. Obviously, as we continue to gain more news, more knowledge, we'll make more videos and stuff. But this stuff's cool, man. This stuff's looking really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to this. We've kind of been wondering how it's gonna look, but I mean, just look at this environment, man. This is really exciting to me. This looks so good. Ugh. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, man. But I'll keep you updated as more news comes out. Anyway, toodles. Bye-bye.